breaking news. It's here we go for the Eberechi Eze. Eberechi Eze is currently a Crystal Palace player who has just signed for the Arsenal. And before we continue with our conversation today, I'd like to know what the panel thinks about this signing. Before now, we've been having a back and forth with the panel over a phone conversation. Tonight we wanted to see how we can have this conversation over the podcast and see what everybody's take is on this particular signing. Personally, for me, I think it's the signing of the season for a lot of reasons. Provides us different cover, provides us with different options. And I'm really excited, if I should say it in my native dialect. So I wanted to know what Jamie thinks. I wanted to know what Van P thinks. Jamie, what do you think about this signing before we proceed properly on the Leeds game?
Thank you, Diego, for having me today. I have mixed feelings as regards this signing today because personally, I don't think Eberechi is that player that can get us over the line, to start winning major trophies and all. Because I'm heavy on stats and I'm not sold on his stats as a Crystal Palace player. And when I look at his stats, I look at 8 goals and 8 assists in his last EPL campaign. Trossard had similar, just one assist shy of Eze last season, and also Martinelli had 8 goals and 4 assists in what was adjudged to be one of his worst seasons as an Arsenal player. I'm not sold on Eberechi as being that knight in the shining armor to come and save Arsenal and take Arsenal to the next level and help us over the line to start winning major trophies. If it was Cunha, if I was looking at Cunha, if I was looking at Mbuemo, I'd say, okay, 20 goals and 8 assists. That's something special, and Cunha, the same thing, but 8 goals and 8 assists, it's not an upgrade on Leandro Trossard. It's not an upgrade on Martinelli. I think
That that's that's very surprising to think that Eze in Crystal Palace, a team that is nowhere near Arsenal standard, is going to obviously their best player for a couple of reasons. His stats obviously shows that. You've seen what his performances were in the last game against
yeah, but
Chelsea.
but like I said, I compared him to Matthias Cunha. Cunha was in Wolves, a worse team than Crystal Palace, and Cunha was able to register more than 20 goals and assists. We
So
all
all
saw
of
what
his
he did, and you can't slam that same price tag on Eberechi as almost the same amount of money that Cunha was bought for. So you can. I'm not sold on Eberechi. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
anyway, the same way I'm not sold on Gabriel Martinelli, but over to you, Van P. Do you have anything to add to this conversation
But
regarding purchase?
yeah, my thoughts are similar to what Jamie is saying, to the extent that Eberechi, I like him as a football player, but then his playing style in Crystal Palace, where they allow him drift from the wings into the middle of the park, that's good. It suits the team, but I don't think that's the way Arsenal plays, right? And I don't think that's what Arsenal needed in the market. Eberechi as it comes into the middle. In the middle, we have Odegaard, we have Rice, we have Zubimendi, we have our backs inverting into the midfield. If we have our winger coming into that same midfield, it gets choked. I think what we needed was an out and out winger who stays on the wing. Like Saka stays on the wing. He doesn't compete for that space in the
Rodrigo,
middle.
I've been
Yes, we
clamoring
needed
for
it.
him.
I needed Rodrigo to stay and hug the lines. Mbuemo against Arsenal was hugging the lines, right? And you will easily pick him. Eberechi Eze, even Semedo, no,
Semenyo.
Semenyo runs into the middle, and that middle is choked for Arsenal's gameplay. I think Rodrigo will suit us best if we can get him. An out and out winger who stays out there will make more sense. Eberechi is just a player, football player. I like him, but I don't think. I'm just struggling to see how we're going to use him. Are we going to ask him to hog the wings, which is not his gameplay? So he will be playing out of position.
Okay, I beg to differ for a variety of reasons, even though this is not the actual reason why we are shooting today. Today it was meant to be, but before we delve into the match preview, I just want to quickly say this, that for me, I still consider Eze as best signing, bar Gyökeres. One, obviously, Arteta loves players that can play multiple positions. I've watched Eberechi Eze transform from playing in the middle to playing, depending on what Glasner wants to use him as a left wing forward. And I've seen him excel in both positions. He's not the paciest, he's not the fastest, but is Saka the fastest? That's the question. You compared him with Rodrigo as your preferred choice. And
Yeah.
I don't see Rodrigo to be that kind of person that would come back and return and do the job that Martinelli would do, or even provide the sort of physicality that Trossard would on a very serious away game at Old Trafford. I think he's a silky player, but he needs to be fed. I think that, with Havertz being out, you can play a formation where you can involve Odegaard and Eze as a false number 10 or actual number 10, two of them playing as a number 10, and sit a Rice at the base of the midfield. I can also see a position where you can play Rice and Zubimendi and have him play as a left wing forward and not necessarily inverting an MLS to. So you're not inverting so that you're providing cover for your back line and you're leaving Eberechi to do what he does best, which is come back, but not overwhelming, not with an overwhelming pace, but also being able to reserve his strength and take us on a counter attack or even provide that silkiness we need to break down the low block. So different reasons, from you both, but I think the versatility is key for me. The ability to break down the low block, the ability to also play on the wings and as a number 8 and as a number 10 when called upon, which is something that the Rodrigo will not give us.
Quickly, let me chip in something quickly, right? So, knowing Arteta, if you ask me, I would say Eberechi is a better cover for Martin Odegaard,
Correct.
than any of our wingers,
How
right?
would he be a better cover with the style of play? The style of play would not let
He's
him.
more of a number 10.
But he's a right-footed player, so you're not gonna. So we play Odegaard as I don't call Odegaard a number 10. The way we play Odegaard, he plays like an 8/a 10. If you see most of his heat maps, he's always on that right hand area. He barely comes into the middle. So how are we going to accommodate those two? Is what I fancy, and I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
to
don't
see.
think Odegaard, you say, is an 8. A proper 8 is Alvarez that plays for Manchester City, that now plays, I think,
Right,
in
right.
Napoli.
Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid. This
Right.
number 9 drops the ball. You can loft the ball and he brings it down to number 8.
That is a proper 8.
That is the
That is
proper
a proper
8.
8. Yeah.
Behind the
Odegaard
striker.
behind the striker.
Behind the striker, yeah.
Behind the striker.
So, but I've noticed in Europe that what they call a number 8 is a box to box. So, growing up from where we're coming from in Nigeria, we call a number 8 someone that plays behind the striker. But what they
Right.
itemize or what they define as a number 8 is someone
Yeah,
that plays
because
box
the
to box.
game changed. That's why the game changed. That's why most of that number 8, is
Uh,
being asked to do a lot. And if you watch Martin Odegaard and the way that he plays, he's pressing, his constant movement of the ball, which is
mhm,
which is an Arteta ball, by the way. And
mhm.
I think Eze can offer that as well. And let's not forget his physicality as well. I think he's a very physical player.
And Premier
He's a
League
player
proven.
he's a player you can depend on, when you give him the ball and you're trying to kill time, or, a lot of things, you hold up play as well. Eze can offer that. And I'm seeing a situation whereas Eze and Martinelli combines, Martinelli for his pace on that maybe left wing /9, then Eze providing, some passes, what's it called? Martinelli.
Gyökeres.
And no, Martinelli, apart from
Okay.
Gyökeres, Gyökeres will be Gyökeres. Gyökeres is obviously our top number 9 at this point, but you're not going to give him 90 minutes because he is still trying to understand the way we play. He's still trying to understand the EPL. He's been there before, yes, but it's a different ball game at this point. We cannot give Gyökeres 90 minutes in the Champions League, in the league, in the FA Cup. We have so many competitions to play, right? Right now, we need another number 9. Gabriel Jesus cannot cut it. If he plays 5-6 games, he's going to go back to a lengthy spell. So right now, we need to integrate Martinelli in that 9 position, which, if you guys remember the Liverpool game where he scored, was it a hat-trick against Liverpool?
That was 3 years ago.
4 years ago,
Yeah.
actually.
4 years ago,
Yeah,
actually.
that was his first
That
season
same
in Arsenal.
Martinelli is not the Martinelli of today.
Yes, he's not the
He's short in confidence.
But
But-
he played as a number
Jamie,
9.
so
You
because
remember
of
the
time,
preseason? You remember the preseason in Arsenal, in the United States, and he played as a number 9.
I think you're
He
gonna
did so
die
well.
I think you're gonna die
Go
on that
ahead.
sword. And I think that Martinelli has regressed drastically, and however else you want to qualify him, he has
Yeah.
regressed. I do not see him contributing immensely to this team. I
Right.
think he will play primarily as a left wing forward, but in that number 9 position, we are now going to go back to Merino as a second choice striker. But again, the idea for today's conversation is to preview the game between Arsenal and Leeds this Saturday. Guys, take it away. I watched the game personally, and I think I called you and we had a conversation about the high intensity of that game. but I don't want to give it out too much on my thoughts. I want to see what you guys think about the game. Primarily, you, Jamie, you watched the game. What were your thoughts on that game, and how do you think we can hurt them?
Well, I mean, Leeds United, them young boys are just, they have so many
They're
talented.
moving mad, bro.
Yeah, they're moving mad at this point. I mean, they have so many talented and fast young lads. I know, but we can hurt them, and it's very easy. It's very easy.
How do you reckon?
You can play Arsenal the way you played Everton. I'm talking from the perspective of Leeds United. You can't do that to Arsenal. We're going to hurt you, and we're going to hurt you bad. There are lots of ways Arsenal play. We can stay wide, but try to hurt them. Who is going to mark Bukayo Saka and Martinelli if they stay wide? And if you try run them down, if you try to do that, then we're going to hurt you through Nodegaard from the middle. And now we have Gyökeres, who can run the central defenders too down. So there are ways we can hurt them, but we need to be smart. We need to be ready. We need to be focused for 90 minutes because these guys, they are playing like some angry birds right now. If I say, so yeah,
Okay.
we really need to hit the ground running from the first whistle up until the last whistle. If not, a little mistake, them lads get one goal, it might be over.
Yeah, but personally, I've not seen we rarely find a team that comes at us toe to toe and win. The likes of Man City do that, and it's difficult when you open up your
Right.
game that way. A lot of teams, the smaller teams, they only get joy when they do a low block. When they have two people on Martinelli, two people on Saka, but now we have three options.
Yes.
So will you have two people on Martinelli, two on Gyökeres, on Saka? You can't do that. Then if you overload your players and you lose them and you lose the ball and there's a turnover, you have Saka. If you have Saka one-on-one, then you're in trouble. Your right back might get a yellow card or you get skinned. So if you go that way and you now expose Gyökeres to his strengths, where we will now actually feed him the ball to run when they've lost, when they go on an attack and lose it, and Gyökeres gets left to run on the wings, then you're in trouble. So I think it will be an easy game, but I don't expect them to, because I don't expect them to play us the way they played Everton. They have to show us respect.
Oh yes, I agree. I completely agree. I mean, we've been there, chasing, when we are chasing a particular, let me say, a thing in the EPL. Let's say we won that Champions League spot, or we're a couple of years ago, against when we had that runoff with Leicester City, on the road to winning the EPL, which we lost completely last 10 games. But anyways, we've been there and we play with that aggression, everybody on the ball, the past Arsenal players, playing with that aggression, that determination, and sometimes when you play like that, you lose focus. I'm telling you, little thing can hurt you.
Did you know? Okay. No, I hear you.
You might try as a number 7. There are times for you to press. There are times for you to sit back. Even as a number 11, as a number 9, there are times 7 and 11 and the number 9, they sit back and you let your number 8 press. You let your number 10 press. These lads are new to the game. Majority of them, I think they have about 7 new players, and they are trying to play as a unit. They're trying to understand the way the EPL is being run at this point, right? So are they going to be focused for 90 minutes? I don't think so, and this is where Arsenal can hurt them real bad.
Okay, I was trying to check for the latest signings from Leeds. I know they made a couple of signings. I know the latest one was Sean Longstaff from Newcastle. I'm not sure the other signings that they made, but I know they got a few.
Good signing too. Good signing. Great signing for them.
Before then, they had Noto that plays for. I think he plays for the senior team in Italy.
Right.
They have James from Manchester about a couple of years ago. They have quite some experienced players. See, I watched that game, and before I even talk about the game, I noticed that, for my personal opinion, a lot of people might beg to differ. I feel like Arsenal has a weakness for people that come with high intensity and high pressure. Once that is the situation, Arsenal will fumble. If you just choke Arsenal in the midfield and don't let them play their game, it's hard for them to find their rhythm. And so I say this because I remember the first game Sean Dyche had as an Everton manager against Arsenal, where they played us to bits. That was a 1-0 loss.
I think you're saying physical game.
Yeah,
that was a physical game and Newcastle's physical game. But in our Champions League, even the big teams like Real Madrid came at us with high tempo and lost.
Right.
It's
You
physicality
can't
and
come
low
at Arsenal
block.
with high
No,
tempo.
no.
If you do that,
No,
you're gonna
it was-
lose.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, the difference. I'm coming to that. No, they're gonna alter our game. But obviously, that PSG game that we had, the 2 legs. Okay, well, the first leg was in Emirates that we lost. It was the high intensity game that lost us the game. They didn't let us play our game. So it depends on a team that is able to kill, which is what I feel Leeds don't have. They don't have that potency in attack. But if it is the way we are brushing the game to be a walkover, I don't really think it's a walkover game. So back to the game that I watched against Everton.
But brother,
I
Leeds,
saw
we are taking over the midfield, and we are gonna eat on the day.
the same way we say we're going to take over the
We
midfield
are gonna
against
eat
Manchester.
on
What
the
happened?
day. I'm
Bro,
telling you, brother.
The game is, for me,
We are
I'm
gonna
confident.
cook and we're gonna eat on that day.
I'm confident that the
Guaranteed.
game. I'm confident that the game is going to be an Arsenal win, but it's not a walkover as a lot of people, unless this man decides to
Easy.
back the hell up and just wait us and let us play our game and go all the way back to do a low block, and that will be to our own advantage anyway, letting us have time with the ball. If now waiting I watch against Manchester United, G, I think we need to be
man, we're not gonna play like
no,
that. Nah.
it's
Again,
not the same. It's not the same. What I'm saying is that physicality tends to throw us off, and I've given examples as
but they
to how
don't
many
have it.
games.
They don't have it. They don't have physicality.
No, they do. I watched them against Everton, and Everton didn't smell the ball in the first half.
Yes, they have high tempo, but we have more senior players, more technically gifted players you can't compare Rice, Mendy, Odegaard to anybody in Everton.
On paper,
Exactly.
no. The same
None
way I
of,
couldn't.
none of the midfielders in Everton
And
can be on the bench.
Noto or
No,
Noto, whatever they call him, right?
But on
That man
on
is
paper,
gonna be slapped by Julian Timber, slapped front and back.
on
Guaranteed.
paper, we obviously are one of the top teams in Europe, obviously. But I'm saying on the day rather, if we are not on our game.
Semi-final. We are top team. We are top 4
Right.
team in Europe.
No, definitely. But we've lost to smaller teams. We've lost to Aston Villa. We've lost to Newcastle. We've lost to Spurs on the preseason game, and we're much a better team on the day. So what I'm saying is, if we do not expect that high intensity game, if we do not have a way to kind of like soak in that pressure and play our game, or at least improve from our last performance, then it's going to be a tough game on the day. So it's not a walkover. That's my only argument. I'm not saying that we're going to lose.
I don't think a manager will say, I'm going to Emirates Stadium, one of the best teams in the world. Let me go and play high tempo.
Hell no.
A championship team.
And when you have someone like Victor Gyökeres.
Exactly.
Hell no. You can't do that,
again,
brother.
There's something we're discounting here. If they go down 2-0, tactics, everything goes out the window. It becomes survival mode. And players start playing individual football. The team falls apart. They did it with Everton because their plan was working. In the first 15 minutes to score 1 goal, the next 10 minutes, 25 minutes to score two goals. Individual football will begin to happen. Right. Then that championship is just survival. Individualism, trying to survive, trying to get the ball into the net by hook or by crook. If you do like that in the Premier League, that's why a lot of championship teams, when they get promoted, they don't do well. Because they are mentally not there.
Let me ask you a question.
I agree.
Sunderland and West Ham, who would you consider a bigger team?
West Ham is a bigger team.
Did you know what the last score?
Right now or all time? Right now or all time?
Right now. Would you consider West Ham a bigger team than Sunderland? You will.
West Ham.
Did you know the scores from last weekend's game?
It was an upset.
It was a 3-0 thrashing.
Yeah, it was an upset.
But what I'm saying is it can always happen. Not with Arsenal, but we should not just say a championship team is coming to the Premier League. It's a walkover. It's not the same way.
Look at West Ham lost. The only person that brings out for
Sunderland. Let's not forget, Sunderland were signing experienced players who have been
apart from Xhaka, who else did you know in that midfield?
I saw a couple of. I saw about 2
in that midfield.
players.
Who else do you remember apart from Xhaka?
I mean, Granit Xhaka.
Okay. Let's talk about the goals.
The name
the
that I
first
need.
2 goals, what were they? Crossing. They were heading the ball into the net.
We conceded more last season from crossing and from set piece. The worst in the league, and we scored most.
Who
from
Arsenal?
We scored the most and we considered the most from set pieces last season. Last season. So it's not just cross.
We're still the best defense, regardless.
Aerially,
we are not superhumans.
Exactly.
We had the best defense.
So my only argument is it's not a walkover. We need to put in work.
I mean,
It's not.
it's 11 men against 11 men. It's not a walkover, but there's no way that I would say, okay, that
You
we
don't think
should
they will score?
adapt our game. We are supposed to impose our game on Leeds. If we can't impose our game on Leeds, then we're not challenging for title. Leeds challenging for the title. They're not.
Yeah, absolutely. So
We are.
so
So we
yeah,
have to impose our gameplay on them. They have to be on the defense. We
Them
have to
man
score
have
the first
them
10
man
minutes.
have Simon Adingra
they
on
have
their
Adingra
side.
as well. They have Adingra.
Yeah, I'm looking at
They
their
have
lineup.
Adingra.
They have that. This team can hurt you. I mean, if you have a leader like Granit Xhaka, they can hurt you anytime, any
He
day.
came and he was instantly made the captain.
Yeah, but I mean that. Let's leave that talk for another day. This is Sunderland, and on that day, I'll give my prediction 6-0 for Arsenal.
Before we go for the match prediction, I'd like to know what you think about. I mean, our last lineup against United and what you think our preferred lineup should be this coming game on Saturday. What do you prefer to see on that day in Emirates? Who do you want to see on the day?
Yeah, this morning I woke up on Twitter and I read that Saka was training on the left and
Not a Madueke.
on the Madueke was right. I like that setup. If
Okay.
we can,
But
everything can remain.
before we go to the attacking, let's start from the keeper. Would you go for Kepa or would you go for David Raya?
I mean, I
Well-
have to give Raya grace, in as much as sometimes he's becoming suspicious, but then he has to start.
You agree with that?
Well,
Do you-
he's a world-class goalkeeper. He should start any game he wants to in the EPL, Champions League, wherever.
So David Raya for you in the
if
goalkeeper?
you name top 3 goalkeepers in the world, I think David Raya will make that call.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that. Spot on. He has mistakes in him, but he also have the reflexes to make some
Right.
wonderful saves. He kept us in
Right.
the game last Sunday, so
Oh yeah,
David
Man
Raya
of
in
the
goal
match.
for me as
Man
well.
of the match on the day.
Exactly, man of the match. Back four, we're gonna do the 2 center backs. No need to converse about this. We already know it's Gabriel Magalhaes, and William Saliba. On the right back, who do you go for? Would you start a Ben
That's
White
the
or would
tricky
you
part.
do a Urin Timber?
That's the tricky part. We're talking about
Mm.
Noto. He's
Mm.
fast, he's quick, he's skillful.
Mm.
He's gonna overrun Ben White. At this point, I'll go with Julian Timber, right back.
Yeah,
Do you-
it depends on the coach, what he's seeing in training. I don't think Timber is very fit. He's trying to bring him into the game.
Oh, when
because I
he's
think-
fit, when he's 100%.
Yeah, when he's fit, the coach will always play him. But I think he lacks some match fitness. But so the coach can decide whether it's Ben White or Timber. But I like Ben White because he links up well with Saka.
with
But
Bukayo
if Saka
Saka.
is not playing there, that is not going to play down that way. I don't know really. But I'll defer to the coach. I trust both of those two players.
But if you had to choose for the game, imagine you are the coach, you are Mikel Arteta, and you are asked to make a decision on who to play as your right back.
If
Who-
Timber is fit, I want to play Timber because he's more solid and more balanced. And he can invert and play the midfield as well.
Right.
Ben
Right.
White can't play the midfield.
I mean, I think he will go for Ben White just because I feel like Ben White has much match fitness. He's played more games in the preseason compared to Timber.
Yes.
But if you ask me, my preference will be defensively Timber is better. Offensively, Ben White is better. So it depends on the gameplay you want to adopt on the day. But I think I'll go for Timber for obvious reasons. We need to make sure that we don't concede at least on the first half. And then if we need to, go all goals blazing in attack, then we can bring in a Ben
Right.
White in the second half just to overlap with Saka or Madueke as the case may be.
And he
And
has
on the left,
he has crosses for Gyökeres.
he has crosses.
Timber does
he
not
over-
cross the ball at all.
Right.
He doesn't create that much offensively. So it depends on the game plan anyway. It always has to be. On the left back, it's a tricky one. I know I've made bets with you before, and I said Calafiori doesn't have it in him to give you 6 straight games. Would you start him in this game
Definitely. He will
over
be my
MLS?
preferred. Yes. Just
Okay.
because of the shift he put in against Manchester United defensively. He was immense. He raised the tempo, for Arsenal when we were being overrun in the first 12 minutes.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll give him the nod to start next game.
Yeah, same here. I'll play Calafiori because he has something to give defensively and a lot to give offensively. If you watch the Arsenal game, nobody runs behind the defender.
Right.
Even Rice does not do that. Odegaard does not do that. Then all of a sudden you see someone running into the box and you're like, who is that? That's
Right.
Calafiori. Yeah, so
Right.
I think, and he has goals to his game as well, so I will play him.
Yeah.
Crucial goals.
Yeah.
It's been outstanding. In
The
fact,
big game player.
yeah, absolutely. I think he was one of the standout players in the last game. And for that reason, I'll obviously start him again. Hopefully, he still keeps fit. He's a very important member of the squad. Now, the midfield trio, we have different options. We have a Nogard. Do you think he has a shout in this game? Is Zubimendi, who has been our immense number 6.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Our midfield trio consists of Odegaard. I mean, our first choice obviously is an Odegaard, a Rice, and a Zubimendi. But I'm just asking,
Same midfield, brother. Same
you
midfield.
will not give Nogard a shout?
No, not yet. Not yet. I mean, the trio, they need to understand themselves, and these are the kind of games we give them for them to build that momentum, for them to have that understanding, because we are what, like a month away from the Champions League. So we need to build that trio, so that they have what it
That
takes
cohesion.
that cohesion, to be able to assist Saka, Martinelli, and Gyökeres, or whosoever we are playing. Yeah, so I'll still start the same 3.
I
And
think you
obviously,
start to be many because Noga did not train as well. He was not available in training, so I don't think he'll
oh
play.
yeah, I didn't see him today in the
Yeah.
open training as well.
Yeah, he was not available. So I
Okay.
think Zubimendi will play.
And now this
Yep.
is where it gets interesting. Today we had the breaking news that Havertz had a knee injury and might be out for a few months.
Big blow.
Unclear, a big blow, honestly. But it's unclear the duration of his absence. So we're limited, obviously, all of a sudden in the front area. And I think the front 3 picks itself up. But, just to think, also, in addition to that, Trossard signed a new contract, not an extension, but an increase in wage. So would you start the Trossard in this game, or would you go with the front 3 that started against United?
Same front 3. I wouldn't change anything. Like we said, the guys are coming with some sort of gameplay. They're hungry. They're trying to prove a point. This is Leeds United, for Christ's sakes, and this is a team. They've been to Europe, a couple of years ago. They were kind of like a regular in the Champions League. They've had players like Mark Viduka, and all whatnot. So the club, they have history. So these players, I think, they have this embedded in them, and they have a brilliant coach. So we can't experiment on the day. We can't say, we just got Eberechi, and I understand that his medical is on Friday, so I don't know whether he's going to train with the lot before
He has a game on
plays.
Thursday. So obviously he's not going to train. He's going to be resting on that Friday and probably just sit it out till next week.
Okay. So I'll
Is
still.
next week a game next week, or is there an international break?
There's another game next weekend. I think there's another game after that game. Then we have the international break.
Okay.
Yeah.
It better
So
not be Liverpool.
I think it's Liverpool.
Yeah,
So
well, and
that's
Liverpool
that's
playing
why.
on Monday. They will play on Monday, then play us next week. And so we'll
Guess
rest
what?
more than them.
It's
Yeah, we'll rest
Liverpool
more
in Anfield.
Yeah, so that's why
So
I
that
need
is where you need to arrest Eberechi and
no.
unveil
That's
him.
we need the trio in the midfield and Martinelli, Gyökeres, and Bukayo Saka to understand how to play before we go to Anfield. If these guys don't understand how to play, if Martinelli and Bukayo Saka don't understand that we have a number 9 and they need to feed that number 9, then we are in trouble. We are gonna get battered in Anfield, brother. So they need to keep playing, they need to keep working hard. And Leeds United, it's a good outing for them lads to understand how to play better. Let's get that Old Trafford trash behind us.
Okay. Van
For
P.
me, I'll play Nani on the right, Saka on the left. Saka does well. He has goals when he's playing on the left, and he'll provide cover playing on the left. Then Eucharist up front. We have
So-
to try it, I think.
Oh, you're saying you want to try Saka on the left?
Yes, Saka
Yeah,
on the
then Nani on the right.
No, I take my clap back. I don't think I heard.
and both of them can interchange during the game. But I think I want Martinelli to know that there's concern from the fans. He has to up his game. He has to do better. He has to come on.
Right.
You have to give Nani a chance.
I think he will start Noni on the left-hand side for simple reasons. Gyökeres didn't have a great game. He didn't have a great game not because he's a terrible player, but because he didn't have the service.
Correct.
And if you remember the Bilbao game, he provided 2 outstanding service to Gyökeres. And, he can drive, he can cross. Reminds me of a Kiranteni. So I think for that reason, he will want to enforce, Gyökeres just get in the rhythm of the game and just have him get some assists, because that's one of the things that we're lacking in the last game. So I think for that reason, he might want to try a Nani on the left, at least in the first half, just to see how it goes. Leeds is not such a threat for us to, get a bit worried and, overthink about it. So it's something that I think he can try in the first and see how it goes. In the middle is obvious is Gyökeres, but in the right hand side, there's no but. Saka has to start. Saka has to just get better, man.
He's our best player.
He is our best player. I
That's
think
his wing.
consistency.
As long as Saka plays for Arsenal, nobody's taking that right wing from Saka.
What does that do?
He has been consistent. Let's wait till he gets to say 17, 18. Maybe Saka might
a problem.
Saka might, be battling that spot with Raya. Because that man is that kid.
The football schedule has increased so much that you can't play. Saka cannot play all the games.
All the games, exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He can't play all the games. So Dorman has to come and play. Nwaneri has to come on and play.
Even if he plays all the games, there might be at some point in the season we lose all three left backs. And we need cover. Who else can play left back in Arsenal better
Martinelli
than
can.
Left back?
Martinelli. I have advocated for that guy to try use that pace for something.
We've seen him
as a left back.
We've seen him, drift from that left wing, to the left back and recover.
So if he cannot score and his game is to defend, and if his strength is to defend, why don't you put him in his strength?
Why do you have him as a defender?
But he has
goals. Because he can defend.
But he has goals in him. He has assists in him. You can't.
The last time.
When last did he score? When
does he score?
He had 8 goals and 4 assists last season. The same with your glorious king Eberechi. The same with Leandro Trossard.
He's not my king. I wouldn't have gotten him. I would have waited till 2 days, and I'll take Rodrigo because I know Rodrigo will have to leave on loan. Get him.
Oh well.
And pay him 350,000 a week. I don't think that's
you get 50% and sell Martinelli. Sell him now. Cash out on him.
If you sell Martinelli, in fact, I heard somewhere in the transfer window that we're still doing business. I don't know how
there's 80 million on the table for him, for Saudi. Sell him. We're business. If you want to, you're buying players, you're extending Trossard. Meanwhile, you want Dorman and Nwaneri to get into the team, and you have players. You have to make room for them. And when last did Arsenal sell good players and make money? We've not made money in a while. So sell Martinelli, then January, sell Jesus. T50 will get 130 million. Sell
Vieira,
Lokonga, and let us make more than 150 million euro.
Can I say something? There's this thing with us,
fans,
fanatics and all whatnot. We keep calculating money for them, board members and all whatnot, but they
want to make profit too.
They want to make profit. If you calculate all this money, I mean, they have families, they have mouths to feed, they have workers to take care of and all whatnot. And I'm not Emirates Stadium is not Bernabeu that generates 1 million euros every day. No, we are not at that level yet. We're still a club. We go by the books. We stay up in the EPL. Self-sustainable. We stay up in the EPL. We get 100 million. We advance to the semi-finals of the Champions League, and we get 50, maybe 60 million. TV rights, Emirates. I'm not sure. The last time I checked, I think they generate like almost 400,000 euros every day. From tourism and all whatnot. So we're not like that, brothers. You can't calculate that money based off of we have 200 million on the table. We made this, we made that. We should sell this, sell that, and use that money to buy. No, we need to put a lot of
things into
in his defense. I think what he's saying is we need to put the club first. The last time we won a Premier League title was 21 years ago. So everybody's selfish desires has to be on the back burner while we win. So if spending the money is the way to win, we gotta win, and we gotta win big now.
Do you guys remember when Arsenal Football Club was drifting away? This was 2 years ago, right? And them lads went to Saudi. Was it Saudi or Dubai? To chill off, to cool off, and
that was Dubai.
Dubai. When we came back, I think we won 8 straight games, something like that.
January, yes.
You understand? So things like that, cost money. You are taking 23 plus about 10 staff or 20 staff
with their
families to another country. That trip is not going to cost anything less than $5, maybe $10 million. We all know that. In a city that is very expensive, or have them lost train for 10 days.
So your point is we shouldn't spend?
It's not that we shouldn't spend, but we should try to balance our books. We should try to balance the
squad.
Why
do you have an issue with me selling?
We're talking about selling to recoup.
We cannot sell a player like Gabriel Jesus right now. We should still let him run out his contract. What are we going to get from him? For him, 20 million? Brother, at this point in time, if he has 2 years left on his
Because we
contract,
don't sell well.
not because we don't sell well,
Chelsea
because
sold-
we don't,
so-
because they
Chelsea sold-
because they bought over 20 players last season. Todd Bowley is a businessman. That's what he's been doing.
But how did they sell Noni for over 50 million pounds? How did they sell Kai Havertz for 65 million pounds? How are they selling high? How is
Kai
Liverpool
Havertz
selling?
won the Champions League for them. It's not hard. He scored the only goal that brought them the Champions League.
That is
Noni
why
Madueke qualified Chelsea, took them to the Champions League when Nicolas Jackson was out for about 3 months. He was
so
Noni
who will pay
Madueke.
that amount?
He was
Who will pay 52 million pounds for Madueke if not Arsenal? Who will pay 65 million
It's the only Arsenal that will
pounds
pay
for
that.
Madueke or for Havertz if not Arsenal?
Exactly.
We
He
pay,
was
who
afraid.
will pay? Who
We're
will
not
pay
paying-
35? How much did we
we
buy
are not
Merino? Who will
paying-
pay that
we
amount
did
for a
not
29
pay-
million?
We did not pay
29-year-old player?
52 million. We did not pay
Mm.
52 million for Noni Madueke as a person. We paid 52 million because there's something missing in that team.
And then that person
lack-
that is going to
we
fit in the
lack-
puzzle was who?
We lack something in the final third, and Noni Madueke has that above every other winger in the EPL. Teta saw that, and he
From what
capitalized
position
on
to what
that.
position? From a right wing forward to come and start as a left wing forward. How does that even make sense in an Arteta book? How does that even make sense for a 52 million?
We started him as a left wing forward just because of the fact that what's it called? Martinelli wasn't playing good.
So you're saying that he's a Saka
We
backup?
bought Noni. He has always been a Saka backup. We've been
I don't think
clamoring
that's
for
the
a
case.
Saka backup, and we bought
I don't
Noni
think-
Madueke, and now we are clamoring for him to play on the left wing. It doesn't make sense to me.
No, I don't think he's.
You and I
coming
talked
as a
about this
Saka
thing
backup.
last year. We said
Yeah,
we
but-
need backup for
Of
Bukayo
course.
Saka.
No,
He was
I
out
agree
for
with you.
4 months last year.
But I
No
don't
backup
think
for him.
I don't think
And we
Arsenal
suffered.
is I don't think Arsenal is at the level where we'll cough out 52 million pounds to buy a Saka backup. That guy has got a game time.
We're there. I mean, you were surprised. We added what, 8 million on top of what them noisy neighbors were offering for was it Eberechi Eze? We paid what, 68 million pounds?
That was
Eberechi
always
Eze.
his release clause.
And
We just
Them
activated the release
Lords
clause.
won that bid with what, 55? Exactly.
Yeah, but
It
these
was
are
go-
homegrown.
We
These
are
are
that-
homegrown players. It adds to their value. When you're buying a homegrown player, whether
Right,
it's
it's different.
Edin Ketia or what about our Nigerian brother who sold to Everton?
Oh yeah, Iwobi.
Iwobi. It
Mhm.
adds to their value.
Right, you're right,
When they are
you're right.
homegrown, when they're
You're
qualified
right.
as homegrown.
You're right.
But then Kai Havertz, in my opinion, was
That's how we made a lot of money. We made like 35 million pounds from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain that left a couple of
and
years
even the
ago.
same
So,
for I think
because they are
something
homegrown
similar with
players.
Iwobi,
Right.
yeah.
right.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
I mean, time has been fast spent. I just want us to end by, hearing your predictions. Again, Arsenal, Leeds, what's your prediction? What are your final thoughts, Jamie?
Arsenal leads 5-0 to the Gunners. I'm predicting a Gyökeres hat-trick on the day.
Vampy?
Arsenal leads 3-0, 2 goals to Gyökeres.
3-0?
3-0.
Okay, I'm going to pin that. I think it's going to be a 2-0 win. Arsenal is going to win on the day. It's going to be an early first goal and it's going to be an extra time second goal. It's not going to be as easy as everyone else is thinking. I think Gyökeres is going to score. I think Saka is going to score the second one. I also think that Leeds will not even have the opportunity to equalize or score at all, because obviously from what I've seen in a couple of games they've played in Championship and on Saturday, or was it on Monday actually, they wasted a lot. They had 12 shots on target in the first half, and
And they scored via a penalty. So
and they scored via a penalty.
no open play goal yet.
So we have a David Raya who is on top of his game, and we have we have the best defense in the league. So I think that will be able to absorb all that pressure. So again, 2-0 to the Arsenal. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for joining on today's preview against Leeds. And I'm hoping that our viewers are very much excited about the new season and what we hope to bring at the end of the season. Hopefully we come out with something humongous, something big. An EPL would be a dream for me. It's been a while since we last won that. So thank you for joining, and good night, everybody.
Good night.
Come on, you